The movie opens with Seo-yeon, a high school girl living with a condition that quietly controls her life. After a car accident years ago, she developed anterograde amnesia, which means that every time she falls asleep, her memory resets. Each morning she wakes up unable to remember anything that happened the day before. To cope with this, Seo-yeon fills her room with reminders. Post-it notes cover the walls, the mirror, and the edge of her desk, each one holding simple instructions, important names, or small warnings meant to guide her through the day. She also keeps a daily journal. Every night before going to sleep, Seo-yeon writes down what happened during the day. It is the only way she can leave a message for the person she will become the next morning. Only a few people know about her condition: her parents, her best friend Jimin, and the teachers at school. To everyone else, Seo-yeon appears perfectly normal. That morning begins like any other. She puts on her school uniform, packs her bag, and reads through her notes before leaving the house. On the bus, several boys talk among themselves, pointing her out as the prettiest girl in school. Seo-yeon hears their voices, but she remains indifferent, staring out the window as the city passes by. Suddenly, the bus jerks forward. Seo-yeon loses her balance, and before she can react, the boy standing beside her, Jae-won, grabs her ponytail to stop her from falling. Seo-yeon turns around in surprise, while Jae-won quickly realizes what he has done and lets go, visibly embarrassed. At school, Jae-won arrives at his classroom and notices that his desk has been messed up. He soon learns that his desk mate Dong-sik was bullied again. Frustrated, he leaves the classroom and confronts the boys responsible. He tells them to stop. Instead of backing down, their leader Tae-hun laugh and make it into a game. He says they will leave Dong-sik alone on one condition, that Jae-won asks Seo-yeon out. The demand catches him off guard. During the break, Jae-won finds himself glancing towards Seo-yeon. From the side, the bullies watch him closely, mocking him and waiting for his answer. Wanting to put an end to the bullying, Jae-won finally makes a decision. He walks up to Seo-yeon and asks her out. To everyone's surprise, she agrees without hesitation and calmly tells him to meet her after school. Jae-won is left standing there, stunned by her answer. After school, Seo-yeon approaches him. She takes his phone, enters her number, and casually calls him her boyfriend. But overcome with guilt, Jae-won finally tells her the truth. He admits that he only asked her out because he wanted to stop his friend from getting bullied. Seo-yeon listens. Then she tells him she doesn't care about the reason. What matters to her is that she wants to try dating someone. Before he can respond, she lays out her dating rules. First, they will keep their messages short. Second, they will only talk after school. And last, they are not allowed to catch real feelings for each other, because she believes they will have to break up eventually anyway. Jae-won is confused, but he agrees. Afraid that she might forget him, Seo-yeon begins asking him questions right away. She wants to know his interests, his favorite food, and the small details that make him who he is. She even takes a photo of him so she can save everything on her phone. That evening, Jae-won returns home and prepares dinner for his father before taking care of the household chores. He lives alone with his dad, ever since his mother passed away 5 years ago. The next morning, Jae-won gets on the bus and finds himself looking around for Seo-yeon without realizing it. At school, word has already spread that he is dating Seo-yeon, the prettiest girl in school. Classmates glance at him with curiosity, some with envy. Later that day, Jimin approaches Jae-won. She tells him to stop dating Seo-yeon if he isn't serious about her. Jimin doesn't want Seo-yeon to get hurt, especially by someone who might treat her feelings lightly. After school, Seo-yeon meets Jae-won. They spend the afternoon at an arcade, laughing as they compete in simple games. Together, they eat spicy ramen, and Seo-yeon laughs as Jae-won struggles to handle the heat. For a while, everything feels easy. And before they realize it, this becomes their routine. Every day after school, they meet, they walk together, talk together, and slowly grow more comfortable in each other's presence. The following day, something unexpected happens. Tae-hun, who once tormented others, is cornered by a different gang. Jae-won sees it happen from a short distance away. At first, he hesitates. Then, as the situation turns violent, he acts without thinking. He throws a carton of milk at them. The gang turns on him. But before things can get worse, Seo-yeon shouts for help from the classroom window and records everything. Seeing the camera, the attackers quickly retreat. Later, Jae-won helps Tae-hun clean his wounds, and a quiet friendship begins to form between them. That night, Jae-won prepares food at home for his mother's death anniversary. The rituals are familiar, but they never feel lighter. Afterward, he goes to find his father at the glass studio, knowing this day is always the hardest for him. Jae-won tells his father that he should live a normal life again. He encourages him to take photos, meet friends, and return to the things he once loved. His father listens quietly, and in that stillness, Jae-won realizes how much weight both of them have been carrying for years. During the weekend, Jae-won takes So-yeon out on a picnic date and even prepares lunch for her. As they sit together, he begins talking about his family and admits that it feels comfortable sharing his life with her. So-yeon listens closely. She tells him that even though they haven't known each other for long, she enjoys being with him. On the bus ride home, Seo-yeon slowly falls asleep. When she wakes up, her memories are gone. She looks around in confusion, unable to recognize the boy sitting beside her. Panic sets in. As soon as the bus stops, she rushes out into the rain, leaving Jae-won behind without a word. Jae-won follows, stunned, calling out to her. But So-yeon boards another bus before he can reach her. As he runs after it, his heart suddenly tightens, forcing him to stop. On the bus, Se-yeon quickly calls Jimin, her voice shaking as she tries to explain what just happened. While Jimin contacts Jae-won to explain the situation, Se-yeon opens her journal and begins reading. Overwhelmed by the weight of everything she has forgotten, she quietly breaks down. Not long after, Se-yeon waits near Jae-won's house. When he arrives, she tells him the truth about her condition. The words come out slowly, and she struggles to explain it clearly. Jae-won listens, then gently tells her it's okay if she isn't ready to say everything yet. Se-yeon apologizes, saying she feels like she used him, but he tells her he enjoys being with her and asks to keep dating, as if nothing had changed, even suggesting they pretend this moment never happened. That night, Jae-won searches online, trying to understand Se-yeon's condition better. Later he meets Jimin. She asks him to keep Se-yeon's condition a secret, knowing how much she could be hurt if others found out. Then Jimin asks if he is truly serious about Se-yeon. After a moment, he tells her that he wants Se-yeon's diary to be filled with happy memories. Hearing this, Jimin finally feels at ease. For the first time, she believes Se-yeon has found someone she can depend on. Back at home, Jae-won tells his father that he has a girlfriend now. His father reacts warmly and even gives him some money, encouraging him to go out and enjoy his dates. The next day, finals finally come to an end. With the weight of exams gone, Jae-won and So-yeon meet up, expecting some quiet time together. Instead, Jimin and Taehyun show up as well, and before anyone can object, the four of them end up spending the day together. They decide to go to the aquarium. So-yeon looks forward to seeing the penguins, but when they arrive, there were none. Later, Jae-won and Se-yeon slip away on their own. He takes her to the beach. The air is calm, and the sound of the waves fills the quiet between them. At one point, Se-yeon struggles with her shoelaces, and Jae-won kneels down to help her, carefully showing her how to tie them properly. It is a small moment, but it stays with her. Before leaving, she tells him it was the best day of her life. Jae-won smiles and tells her that he will make tomorrow happy for her as well. Se-yeon laughs and calls him cheesy, and the two of them laugh together, letting the moment linger. The following day, Jae-won and Taehyun dress up in penguin costumes to surprise Se-yeon and Jimin, making up for the aquarium trip. The sight catches them completely off guard. They take photo after photo, laughing until it hurts. That night, Se-yeon writes in her journal. She records how touched she was by what Jae-won did and quietly wishes she could remember this moment forever. The next morning, they visit Jae-won's father at his glass studio to make simple glass crafts. While looking around, Jaemin notices the photographs on the wall. When she realizes that Jae-won's father is her favorite photographer, she can barely hide her excitement. When Jaemin asks why he hasn't shared any new photos recently, he brushes it off, saying he has been busy. But the truth is quieter. Since his wife passed away, he has slowly stepped away from the things he once loved. That evening, back at home, Jae-won talks to his father. Once again, he gently encourages him to start taking photos again. He tells him that maybe it is time to put some of his mother's belongings away. Not to forget her, but to move forward. He reminds him that she will always live on in their memories. The next morning, Jimin pulls Jae-won aside and tells him that Seon's parents called her. Recently, Seon has been afraid to fall asleep, terrified of waking up without the memories she holds so close. Because of that fear, she has been forcing herself to stay awake, night after night. Hearing this, Jae-won feels a tightness in his chest. That night, he stays up searching again, reading everything about her condition, hoping to find even the smallest way to help her hold on. The following day, Jae-won and Se-yeon go out together. They exchange the glass figurines they made at the studio, only to realize they had both crafted one for each other. As they walk, Jae-won tells her about something he learned. He explains that there is a kind of memory called procedural memory, the type that stays with you once it becomes part of your body. These are things you remember through habit and feeling, even when conscious memories fade. That night, Se-yeon tries something new. Without opening her diary, she struggles to remember the day she spent with Jae-won. The details slip away, but she keeps trying, refusing to give up. Days pass like this. They continue spending time together, quietly building happy memories with each passing day. And then the night of the carnival arrives. Once again, the four of them go together. But when they reach the crowd, Jimin pulls Taehan away, leaving Seo-yeon and Jae-won to spend some quiet time together. As fireworks bloom overhead, Jae-won reaches for Seo-yeon's hand. She holds on tightly, and together they watch the sky in silence. Tears gather in Seo-yeon's eyes as she whispers that she doesn't want to forget this day. Jae-won answers just as softly, telling her that no memory ever truly disappears, and that feelings remain even when the details fade. She turns to him and admits she broke their third rule, quietly telling him she fell in love with him. Jae-won doesn't hesitate. He tells her he broke it long ago. Under the falling fireworks, they kiss, holding on to the moment as if it might stay with them forever. A year passes, and Seo-yeon is now in her senior year. She still goes to school every morning, walks home with Jimin and Taehan, and laughs at familiar jokes. Life continues much the same, except Jae-won is no longer by her side. After school one day, Seo-yeon tells Jimin that she has started drawing again. She opens her sketchbook and shows her several portraits she has been working on. They are all of the same boy. Seo-yeon admits she doesn't remember who he is, yet his face feels strangely familiar, as if he once mattered deeply. Jimin freezes, unable to answer. A flashback takes us back a year earlier. Jae-won sits quietly with Jimin and tells her about his heart condition, explaining that it has been with him since birth and has slowly grown worse. In case he doesn't survive, he asks her for one final favor. He doesn't want Soo-yeon to live with a sadness she can never fully remember or understand. Rather than letting her wake up every day and relive his death, he asks Jimin to remove him from Soo-yeon's journal, allowing him to disappear from her recorded life if that is the only way to protect her. Then, one night, the inevitable happens. Jae-won passes away. Honoring Jae-won's wish, Jimin makes a painful choice. She copies Seo-yeon's journal entries onto a flash drive and deletes every mention of Jae-won from her computer. She removes his photos, their crafts, and anything that might bring him back into Seo-yeon's recorded memories. From that point on, Jae-won quietly disappears from Seo-yeon's life. Meanwhile, Jimin and Taehan grieve quietly at Jae-won's house, hiding their sadness so Seo-yeon would never see it. Time moves forward. One morning, Seo-yeon's parents ask if she has been having trouble sleeping. When she casually tells them she slept well the night before, they exchange a startled look. It means her memory hasn't reset. At the hospital, the doctor tells them that her condition has improved, and they are elated. Later, Jimin enters Seo-yeon's room and stops in her tracks. The walls are covered in drawings of Jae-won, all created without any memory to guide her hand. The next day, Jimin decides to return everything she once removed. That night, Seo-yeon sits alone and begins to read. She watches the videos, revisits the moments, and slowly pieces together the life she once lived with Jae-won. The next morning, Jae-won's father quietly packs up the glass studio. Seo-yeon comes to visit him, and he hands her a small portrait Jae-won made for her before he passed. Seo-yeon apologizes softly, saying she doesn't remember much. Jae-won's father smiles and tells her that forgetting is part of being human. But what truly matters is that what remains in the heart never really fades. The next day, Seo-yeon begins visiting the places she once visited with Jae-won, reliving the memories they shared. She speaks to him softly, as if he might still be listening. She tells him that time usually makes people fade from memory, but for her, time will only bring him closer. With each passing day, she will remember him more, holding on gently to the love they shared, because even though he is gone, the love he left behind never was.